last few weeks are starting to listen.
My time's expired. Thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Stubbe. Ranking Member Pascrell.
Yes. Updated all the numbers that we've heard thrown around here today. There is a summary for that report as well. It's a 4-pager. In that summary and in the report itself, the IRS is telling us that this problem started in the late 2019 and was seen throughout 2020. And they realized they had to do it. I would agree with Mr. Gray that Mr. Werfel is the guy right now. I think he knows what he's doing. He will not jump just to make us happy that things are happening, because we want it not only to be a solution, one of you said this, we want it to sustain itself and try to reduce the amount of hesitancy that exists right now. So people, the consumer, doesn't have to wait so long. Ms. Zippel, you stated that 2/3 of the respondents to a survey reported receiving COVID relief from the government. It's a lot of people. What type of education and outreach services did your organization conduct to make nonprofits aware of the ERTC? Be as brief as possible. I've got a number of questions.
Yeah, we did, along with our counterpart associations, workshops, webinars, recorded videos, emails, social media, to try to reach our members, our network in New Jersey of 5,000 plus, and of course the reach of our counterparts across the country is very broad. We wanted to make sure that organizations were aware of these, the programs, the changing requirements, also, quite frankly, the warnings against not falling for the scams. But we wanted to make sure that, and we still do this to this day, we still hear from members that don't know that nonprofits are eligible for this program. So that education is ongoing, and we know that we reached a lot of organizations that might not have otherwise known about this.
I agree with that. You discussed the need for more education and clearer processes to help nonprofits navigate the ERTC. How can education and streamlining the application, critical to what we're talking about here, help cut down on the scams targeting vulnerable organizations?
That's really a key point, because I think one of the biggest roots of the proliferation of the scam artists was the complexity of the program. You've got organizations, as we talked about, on the front lines trying to meet unprecedented demand for their services, but they also are dealing with lost revenue, canceled programs, and the like. And so you get somebody coming into your door, you're going to try to listen to them, because this is not what you're specializing in. The simpler we can make this, the easier it is for organizations to deal with. That's part of the reason why time, extra time to apply, also matters, because organizations have to analyze their systems and whatnot, and making that choice between, am I going to serve the person who's at my door today, or am I going to be able to stop and look at this morass of guidelines that may change next week, is a really, really hard choice to put on a nonprofit.
What did your organization experience when claiming and receiving the ERTC? And what type of information did your organization need to gather and provide to your accountant? That's a tricky thing here we're talking about.
It is, and there's a reason we didn't apply right away either, because we're a small office,
Right.
and we had to figure out if we might be eligible, and we had to work with our accountant and provide payroll records and provide our financial records so they could help us analyze whether our gross receipts had gone down enough. And of course, the moving target of the definition of gross receipts also was a problem for the charitable community. And then look at our payroll records. So it's a multi-step process, and that's part of the reason we were also trying, we were in emergency mode as well, and so trying to navigate that, was a little bit challenging. I mean, our process was a little smoother than some, but it definitely took some time, and there were a lot of steps.
And my final question quickly, what lessons should Congress take away from the ERTC implementation that can guide the design of future tax relief programs for nonprofits?
The biggest message is the fact that this was structured as a payroll tax credit, which allowed nonprofits to participate. That was the huge win for nonprofits. It really was a lifeline. And to any future programs, if they can be structured that way, that will make a huge difference for the community.
I know the question will lead you to about a 2-hour answer, but it's a complicated process. But thank you for your testimony. Thank you for all your testimony. You have helped beyond what you even think.
Thank you, Mr. Pascrell. And if you're going to go vote, we'll say nice things about you when you're gone.
Don't lie.
Ms. Tenney.